Hey there everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video we're going to be tackling a challenge I've done before. So I think it was last year, but I don't think it was like a full year ago. I did a challenge that is like use a primary color challenge where I did a portrait using only primary colors. So you can go back and watch that video if you want. It's a pretty good video, but I didn't really like the outcome. So I had tried doing that initially in my sketchbook and I really liked how it was looking. But then when I tried to do a full portrait, big size portrait, all of that, it didn't quite go as planned. I think there were a bunch of factors that contributed to this, but the main thing was the size of the paper. I think I exaggerated. I took it way too far. I should have done it in an A5 paper instead of A4. I tackled too much with little experience. Also, the pencils I use the Prismacolor pencils, which sometimes I can make them work beautifully, other times I struggle, and that day was a no day. It was a struggle day, and I think that if I had done it with different kinds of pencils, I would have given myself a better chance. And also patience. I don't think I was patient enough, and I don't think I showed this in that video, but that was the second time I was trying to do that portrait that day, and I wasn't able to do it. And what I should have done was set that down, not work on it, and try again the next day. And I didn't. I wasn't patient with myself, and I just wanted to achieve what I did in my sketchbook, and I was chilling when I did that on my sketchbook, not under the pressure of doing a video. So this time around, I decided to put all those factors in play and put them on my side. So I chose a smaller piece of paper. I went in with my regular pencils. Technically, these are water soluble pencils, but when it comes to texture of the pencils, they're pretty normal pencils. And I did this with the most patience I could muster. Honestly, I put on I think it was a TV series, and I just chilled and drew as if I wasn't even filming. I was trying my best, take it easy, try a few things, but then don't try too extreme things. I also was very careful with choosing the colors because I missed the mark completely with the other portrait. There were places I added colors that looked really weird. The whites of the eyes were yellow. I don't understand why I didn't use just a little bit of blue. It was really stupid. I think I kind of lost in the sauce and just completely lost track of reality and what was the main objective of I was trying to achieve with that challenge. So this time around, I was trying my best to be careful. I was looking at my reference picture over and over and over again. I was taking it slow, changing in between pencils. And another thing I did was be very, very careful with the blue because, when you get when you get red and yellow mixed up, they produce orange, which is a fine color. But when you add blue to the mix, blue does purple with red and does green with yellow. And purple is fine on the face, green not so much. You don't get a lot of green on a face, so you have to be really, really careful. So I left blue for last, and I also decided to use it for the hair, so I could be more pinkish to the face and then bluish for the hair, and decided to tackle it that way. And I was very, very patient and careful, and I was jumping around on the page trying to do this little detail here, this little section there, and really be mindful of what I was doing and the strokes that I was adding to the drawing and to the paper. I'm really happy with the outcome. I think I did a pretty good job with the planes of the face. I think I chose an expression on her face that I genuinely liked only because of the mouth. I really like her teeth, and I really love how the teeth looked in her sketch. So I chose that expression because of that. But in the end, it kind of looks weird when you put it side to side to the other one, because the other one is just a regular pose, kind of blank face, and this one is kind of face, So I think I chose maybe not the best expression, but I think I portrayed it really well, and I think I was able to get the planes of the face relatively well. Her cheeks, I really wanted them to pop, and I was able to achieve that. Even in her chest, as you see right now, I was trying to color it and find out the colors. I was struggling a little bit in this part because I really didn't quite understand how to do it. And I was just figuring it out as I went, because like with a limited palette, you have to be really careful. Not only to make the colors work together, but also to not make them look really, really weird. And the whole process of this piece was taking it slow and building up slowly the colors and the shades and everything, and being careful not for it to not work really, really weird. I think the yellow, for example, on the face, you can look at it and be like, oh, that looks really fucking weird. But in the end, it really works. And I think that is definitely due to the fact that I took my time and went over and went with really small changes at a time, really light-handed. And I think that was definitely like a plus throughout this entire process. So in a little bit, I am going to be showing you guys like this piece next to the old piece. And I want to talk a little bit about like the whole thing of the concept of redoing an old artwork, right? I think that sometimes, especially with these types of challenges that we set for ourselves, when they don't go according to plan, at least I do tend to do this, is that like I'll put it in a drawer and never think about it again. And by redoing this piece, I was really shocked at the results, because when you look at this piece from a distance, you can barely notice that it's like done with only 3 different colored pencils, because you can really look at the face and distinguish the face. While the first one you can definitely see it was done with 3 pencils, like it was terrible, you know. And this time around I was able to do it a lot better, and I think that's because going through the first experience, I came out knowing what went wrong and what went well. And I knew this time around what to prevent and what to work on. Just like I started the video by saying, I knew these were the faults, this is what I did to combat them. And this knowledge you can only get by giving certain things a try. And when you put these challenges in a drawer and you forget about them because they were terrible, you kind of lose the opportunity to grow and to really understand how you can get better at certain things. If it weren't for this challenge, I probably wouldn't think about using primary colors to do anything at all ever again. I had a really pleasant experience in my sketchbook, really terrible experience in that final piece, so I would just not give it a try because I've tried it didn't go well. Now I'm like, oh, okay, like I'm more trusting of the process, I'm more aware of what I can do, right? And so you definitely need to give yourself a chance, and you have to also understand that, you know, some days we're gonna have good days and we'll be able to draw and paint and do everything with ease, and other days are not as easy for whatever factors that might be into play. So keeping that in mind, I think, you know, if you guys are thinking about this, or if you've had a challenge go wrong in the past, I would definitely advise you to give it a try, because to me this experience was pretty enriching. Yeah, so going back into the process, I was waiting for myself to use the blue pencil, because I want you guys to see, like, I was very mindful of where I was putting the blue pencil, and wherever I put it and didn't really like the outcome, I would grab the other pencil again and really try to work things out. This pencil, as soon as you put it on top of the red, you can see the purple undertones, and you can see how it darkens some parts, but it can also look really brownish, so you have to really be careful. And I was trying my best to work with this brownish, you know, tone that ended up that the pencils ended up leaving, but at the same time also, like, you know, using the blue to deepen the face and the areas of the face without making it look really terrible. So I was slowly building things up and switching between pencils to make this work. And I was also very careful with going over with blue on top of yellow, because I definitely did not want the green to show up in the page. So having to be very careful and playing around with that was a bit of a struggle, but I think I kind of did it successfully. I don't think I did it successfully. Like, I have to be nice to myself. I did it successfully. And I really liked, like, the outcome of it, right? So then using the blue for the hair was a lot easier, because, you know, you could see the blue in in the portrait in the skin, and now it going into the hair, it kind of makes everything look uniform, and it doesn't look as odd as you'd think, right? Yeah, like you look at this girl and she's like, her face is yellow and red and now she has blue hair, like what the hell? But it doesn't look that like off or weird or, you know, oh my god, this looks like fucking terrible, because I had like blue into the skin tones and everything. So I think I made it work pretty well, and I also played around like with the reds and the yellows in the blue hair to, you know, give it a bit more dimension, give it a bit more color. But it was a sticky situation, but I had to be really careful. So I think the entire process, being mindful of things and doing it like very thought out, was very key for this thing. And I'm not the very patient person sometimes when drawing. I like to get things done and move along. So patience was definitely key throughout this process. Yeah, so when it comes like to the hair, I'm looking at it and I'm remembering like the only thing I think I kind of shouldn't have done was add yellow to the hair. I decided to add yellow to the hair by the end, and the idea was just to be able to use all three colors in all sections of the painting. But I think that's the only thing that I would take back, honestly, in this painting, is because I added yellow to the highlights of the hair and they look green, as is to be expected. And that's the only thing that's kind of off in this painting. If I had just kept it the way it was originally, if I had just kept it blue and red, I think it would work a lot better. But I wanted to try and like give it a little pop, and once I did it on the first part, I looked back at it and I was like, hell, what now? And I just had to, you know, had to take the plunge and had to roll with it, because I had already done it in one strand of hair. I couldn't like not do it, and it's not like easy to undo that. Plus these are colored pencils, you can't just erase them that well. So that's definitely the only thing, like, but you know, I experimented, and yeah, like it's, I think if it's the only mistake I actually made throughout this process, I don't find that it's that bad, to be honest. So in the end, I think I can live with it. But yeah, we're reaching the end of the process here, and I'm just doing like the last bits and bobs and just fixing up a few things, deepening up a few things. But this is basically like how she's going to be looking like. And let's just, I'm gonna show you the close-ups. She looks really cute. Hello. She looks so much better than the initial. The vibe is completely different, and when looked afar, you can tell that it's just, it just looks better. And I think that's a really nice thing to look back at and think, oh, I achieved this. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.